everyone, let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Corner with myself, OJ, crypto analyst and investor since 2016. I started this crypto video podcast to actually record my own journey with cryptocurrencies and to share my knowledge and to help you navigate easier in the crypto space. And let's talk about today's market drop because it is actually quite a noticeable one. And we've been dropping already for the last few days. So the weekly is not looking great either. Most of the coins today are down by 2, 3, 4%. Bitcoin is down 3.28 to 27,900. So definitely we're going to go into the charts today. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, all the major coins and a few other of the altcoins that I'm personally looking or trading. So we're going to analyze, but this right now is actually starting to look like a bear trend rather than just another dip. So we'll see how this goes. It is very important for most of these coins right now. We are actually at support levels, and this kind of support that if we break below these support levels, then we are going to confirm a downtrend. It could be a short-term downtrend, but it will be more than just a pullback. So this is what I want to analyze. I want to find out whether Bitcoin is going to go to 24K, which many people are starting to talk about. And I do see a possibility in that. I'm going to show you now as I go in the charts. Actually, without further ado, let's go into the charts. Alright, well, starting of course with Bitcoin first. This is the daily chart. As you can see, we are actually coming into this support region here. We have broken the 50th moving average. We broke the 9th moving average earlier, and you know I'm following these two moving averages, especially on the daily, but they work on all time frames, which is great. Especially on the daily though, being below the 50th moving average for me is a no-go zone. I am out of all trades, most of the trades. I do have a couple of altcoins that I failed to sell yesterday, and things are not looking great. I'm gonna go into the altcoins in a moment, but first, so 50th moving average, if we stay below this moving average for a few more days, this will confirm a downtrend. So for the moment, for the time being, we are still in a pullback, a correction you can call it. We are still higher here than this previous low, which is sitting at the 50th moving average. But this time, this moving average did not provide support. So a failure to come above this moving average over the next couple of days is going to be bad news for us. Now, we can come and retest this previous low here at 27,100, 27,200 in this region. But we don't really have any signs that this is going to hold us, that this is going to be a decent support. So most likely we are going to fall to the lower support at 26,700. Now, if this support region doesn't hold us, the lower support is sitting all the way in the 24,000s. So this is bad news for us. It means that we could actually fall into a longer term downtrend. Looking on the weekly, it's only going to confirm this because we do have stochastic RSI still going downwards. Also the market is. The markets are quite high and they're curving down on the downside, so that's not good as well. That is also showing us that a further downwards price action is to be expected. Definitely coming here into this support zone and most likely coming to the downside of this support zone. If the support actually holds us, this will be good news because we can make a nice bounce from here and then it's just a correction, right? But if the support doesn't hold us, then the direction is towards the lower support. So this is what I'm expecting from Bitcoin, and if this is to happen with Bitcoin, it's going to happen to all of the altcoins, including Ethereum. Speaking of Ethereum, let's take a quick look at the chart here. So it's already been a couple of days since we had the Aurochs indicator pointing a sell sign here. I don't know if you're using Aurochs, but it's definitely a helpful indicator, especially if you're not very experienced, because even if you don't know how to read the charts, you can follow these green and red dots, and as you can see, a lot of the times they're giving you decent profits. Now here you can argue that entering around 1890 and exiting at around 1898 is not necessarily a good trade, but it's still preventing you from a loss. right? And sometimes you would make losses. You could actually enter a trade here and exit here if you see these dots, right? And of course, it's not a guarantee that you will enter it at the lowest point and exit it at the highest. You could actually enter, because this is the daily, you can enter any time throughout this day. So you could actually enter on the high price and then having to exit during the next day on a lower price, so you made a small loss here. But here, with the next trade, you made a decent profit. So even just following this indicator here can save you a lot of money and can make you a much better trader. So if you're not using Aurochs, I do have a link in the description below. But even without this indicator, we can actually still see quite a few indications on the chart that a further downwards price action is to be expected. Well, for a starter, we are also breaking the 50th moving average here. Now, it could be that this is just a momentary breakdown and we managed to hold this level. This is right now our support. It almost coincides with a Fibonacci support level here. These levels that I've drawn are Fibonacci levels. So this is a stronger support for us, and it's been holding us a few times. We managed to break it very briefly a couple of times, but overall this is holding us. So if this support holds us, it's gonna be good news. We can continue, we can bounce up from here and continue in another rally. Or we can at least come here to the resistance at 1949, because every time we break this resistance, it is short-lived. Here we actually managed to stay for about a week, but even that is still short-lived compared to other moves, right? Look at, for instance, how much longer we stayed around this price before we made a slower dip, retested support, and then we managed to rally on the upside. Now here, if we manage to stay around this price a little bit longer, we could make another dip down to here, to this support zone. And after that, we can make our bounce on the upside. We can make another rally and we can go even higher. So this would be the best case scenario. The worst case scenario would be to actually fail this support here and then go all the way down to this zone and then start consolidating in this zone. And, just establish this as the next range rather than this up here. So, going to the 1600 is still a possibility. Now, as we go into the higher time frames, this is the 2-day chart. This is looking slightly more bullish, meaning that we are now in the oversold region in the stochastic RSI. The MACDs are still going downwards, but they're already low. So I'm expecting that a further drop, perhaps to the 50th moving average here, is likely to happen, and then a bounce on the upside and a return into this resistance zone. So I'm not necessarily anticipating here to go into the 1600 region. It's a possibility, but we do have the 1800, 1805, 1780, higher 1700 and lower 1800. We do have a support, and I believe that this is where we're going to find a decent support here. The buyers will have to step in and get us out of the oversold region, because we can't really stay here for too long. So this is good news. And on the weekly, again, we see indication of further downwards price action. In fact, the simple RSI has just started going downwards, so we still have more room for it to go downwards. And the stochastic RSI is kind of low, but it has more room until it gets into the oversold region and then bounces on the upside. So the weekly is still showing us that we can expect a further downwards price action. That's why I'm saying that at least coming here to the 50th moving average, and this is on the weekly, we see that the 50th moving average is pretty much at the same position. So coming to test this moving average as a support is the most likely scenario in my eyes. Okay, now a quick look at XRP. And XRP also looking bearish. Let me just remove the Aurochs indicator so it's a cleaner chart. And I actually have marked here two support levels at 40 cents and at 36. This is the direction that we're going right now. Two things are going good for us. First, the fact that we have a drop in volume as the price is going down. This is a bullish indicator. But then again, we are just coming out of a weekend, and weekend usually has lower volumes, so I'm not sure if this is exactly a strong indicator. The other thing on the weekly here is that we still haven't broken the 21 or even the 34 weekly moving averages. Now this is good, but unfortunately we are very close, and we already have a week that goes below them. So we're starting a new week. We'll see how it goes, but we could actually go below these moving averages, and then we're gonna get bearish. Plus, they will cross in a bearish cross formation, indicating further downwards price action. So let's see what is the second good thing that is going for us on this chart. Well, it's the fact that still we are making higher highs and higher lows. Even with this drop, we are still having a higher low than the previous one. We are still having a higher high than the previous one. So as long as we don't break this line now here that we are forming, and you can actually argue that it is starting all the way from here and it's going like that. Unless we break this support line here, we are still safe, meaning that we are not going into a complete downwards trend here, but we are still making a correction. And as you can see, this line right now crosses with the lower support. In order to cross with the higher support, we still have quite a few weeks to go. So I don't really think that this price action will take that many weeks, meaning that this first support is not a very strong one. The second, however, is our stronger support. I'm expecting a further drop at least to the 40 cents here in XRP. Let's take a look at the other altcoins. Here is Litecoin on the weekly. Not great because we are breaking the 21 and the 34 weekly moving averages, so this is not good for us. Now let's take a look at the 9th and the 50th. We've gone down, not great. Let's take a look at the daily. Oh, we are below both of them on the daily, and they printed a bearish cross back on the 24th of April. So the daily Litecoin was already showing us, I haven't actually traded this in a while, it's already showing us a week ago that we are ready to go down and that we need to exit our trades. As I told you many times before, if you see this bearish cross between the 9th and the 50th daily moving averages, this is a sign to exit. And this was back when we were at 90. So this drop to 81 could have been avoided if you are following this, at least this indicator. We are having the stochastic RSI entering the oversold region, but it's not quite there yet. We are waiting for the red line. This is also a moving average. We are waiting for this moving average to come down here and then perhaps start curving on the upside, just like what we are seeing here, what we are seeing here as well, and here. This is how it goes. Usually the blue line is the one that is faster. It is a shorter time frame, so it reacts sooner, and then the red one follows, and as they cross down here, this is the bullish cross that we are looking for. So as you see, we still have at least another few days to go before this happens. I mean, the blue one is ready to curve, and it usually makes a V shape, quite a strong curve. So it could be that the blue line curves over the next day or so, and then another day or two, and the red one will also make the V shape, and they are gonna start going upwards. But until then, we are still expecting further downwards price action or perhaps consolidation. This is unclear from the daily. Let's take a look at the 8-hour. Well, it doesn't look like we are ready yet. Even the 8-hour chart is not quite in the oversold region, so we are not ready to start bouncing just yet. We could actually break the $80 support. This is a psychological support. It is a round number, so this right now is acting as a support. If we break it, then it's not gonna be good news. We can actually find out what would be the move. Let me draw some Fibonacci's here. All right, so let's see what could that move be. So currently the support is actually sitting exactly at 79.87. This is the golden pocket. This here is usually our stronger support. So breaking this support means that we can go all the way down to the lower one, which is at 73. Really not a great outlook, right? So keep a close eye on Litecoin if it breaks this support. You don't really want this to happen, but if Bitcoin is going to go further down, Litecoin is going to do the same, of course. Now here's a token that I was trading recently, RNDR. This was actually doing quite well, as you can see, a strong uptrend here, and now is doing a pullback. The question is it going to be just a pullback, or are we entering a bigger correction? And this 50th moving average on the daily, unlike all of the other charts that we looked at, this here is still acting as a support. And we came down to that. We didn't even manage to go all the way down here yet, but this is the direction. I believe that we are coming to retest this moving average, which is at 180 right now, and this has to hold us. This price level here at 180 is really crucial for us. So if you have any of these tokens and you're trading this, keep an eye on the 180. If this doesn't hold us, then a drop to the lower support, which you can clearly see there is one here, not a very strong one, and then we have a lower support, 162. So this is quite a difference. I would say it would be wise to actually get out of this trade if we are breaking this support here, because it's not even a guarantee that the lower one will hold us. And such a break here of this support would actually coincide with Bitcoin's drop. So if Bitcoin is going to continue going down, then we might actually see this break. But first, we do have a strong support at 180, so let's see if this will actually hold us. I wouldn't actually sell, I wouldn't exit the trade until I see a confirmation of this getting broken. And that means, you know, if you bought it high, you might lose a little more money, but you want that confirmation, because otherwise what could happen is that we find the support and we bounce up from here, and you might actually sell now and you might actually exit the trade a little too soon. So yes, you should actually wait for a confirmation of this support getting broken, and then, you know, going into a further downtrend, which could look something like that. Or it could be much faster, of course. I mean, if Bitcoin gives up a support very quickly, then this can see another very big red candle here. It's possible. However, as you can see, the price going down coincides with volume going down, and this is typically a bullish indicator. Also, we are entering here the oversold region in the stochastic RSI, indicating that an upwards price action soon will follow. But by soon, I mean at least another few days from now, because we are not quite ready yet. So we are waiting for a confirmation from the stochastic RSI. We are waiting to retest this support and for us to hold this support, and then we can think of a bounce on the upside. Alright, now let's take a look at the Cardano ADA. Well, this is the daily, and it's not looking good. We can see here that we are going downwards. This is the trend. We are following this trend line perfectly. Every time we get to it, we get rejected. So definitely here, this is more of a pullback. This is a proper downwards trend. What I'm seeing also here is that stochastic RSI in the oversold region, still having to curve though. It hasn't recorded this curve that we are waiting for. And the simple RSI still has more room to be going down until it reaches the oversold region. So we're expecting that we're going to continue this downtrend. We have an obvious support here at 34 cents. So this is the direction. We are not far from there, actually, at 36 already. Hopefully you are not in this trade, or if you are here, you're in a short trade. But if you are holding Cardano, you can expect further downwards price action, unfortunately. So if you're waiting to buy Cardano, then you still have time. I'm not ready to be buying it. I also don't like the fact that we have a bearish cross of the 9th and the 50th moving averages, indicating further downwards price action. As you know, on the daily, being below the 50th daily moving average is quite bearish, and we are already there for 3 days. So not great. Yes, the volume is going down as the price is going down, but at least coming here to this support is a very likely scenario. Then we have a lower support at 32 cents, and we have even lower support, the previous low of 30 cents. So this is the direction. These are the 3 support levels that I will be keeping an eye on. But if you're looking to accumulate, I would say just entering the first support is not enough. Wait for a confirmation. So you want to see something like, going down here, then, coming back up, managing to hold this support. And it's going to be hovering around perhaps for a while until it goes on the upside. So as this support is holding, you can accumulate, but don't rush into it, because we could come to this support, it could hold us for a day, and then it can break and go to the lower support. You want to be buying after you get a confirmation, and something like that would be a good confirmation, because coming to retest support and then testing it again and bouncing up and breaking a previous support, which is now a resistance, this is the kind of confirmation of turning of a trend. And you don't want to be buying during a downwards trend. You want to be buying after the trend is exhausted and we turn and we go on the upside. All right, and here is Solana. The daily chart is also looking bearish. We are printing this bearish cross in the 9th and the 50th moving averages, so I'm out of this trade. I actually don't have any Solana for a while now, but if I had any Solana, this for me is the indicator to get out of the trade, because we don't really know how much lower now we can go. Once we break this 50th moving average, which is acting as a support, it is very likely to go lower. Here, it was a very much a consolidation, and then we broke on the upside again. So this is ideal scenario here, is that we just hold this level and then we go up, but we don't really have a guarantee that this would happen. I mean, here it happened again, we broke down, we consolidated, and we went up. But here, as you can see, we had that break, we had the bearish cross, and then we went much lower, much lower. We went all the way from 21 to $17. So if something like that is to happen, you want to avoid this big dip. So that's why I would exit the trade here. It is safe. We're still very close to the 50th moving average. We can consolidate for a few days, and if we start breaking on the upside, which will be not very different from the price right now, then you might want to take that trade. But you could save yourself from a much bigger dip going below 20, and then you can accumulate down there if you are actually wanting to trade Solana. For the moment, I'm actually keeping away from Solana. I'm not really interested. And this is DYDX, another token that was doing very well previously, but as you see right now, it's broken a key support level. This is on the daily chart here. This was a support that we respected for quite some time, and now it's been broken, and it's also having this head and shoulders formation. So breaking below this base is definitely bad news. And let's take a look at the 50th moving average. Where is it sitting right now? Oh, we are below the 50th moving average, as well as all of the other moving averages here that I've drawn. Yeah, this is quite a downtrend here, already at 30% down from its previous high. So this is not just a correction, this is a proper downtrend here. There is nothing bullish about this, even though stochastic RSI is already entering the oversold region. I feel that we still have a few more days, quite a few more days, to stay down here before we make a curve on the upside. Another chart that is looking bearish. And lastly, let's take a look at MATIC. This is the daily chart of MATIC, and here we are also seeing indication of a further bearish price action. That's why I'm looking to exit my MATIC positions right now, because I feel that we still have a lot more room to be going downwards from here until we are ready to actually turn this trend. We are below the 50th moving average and the 9th moving average, and somehow I actually missed that bearish cross which we formed all the way back on the 20th of April. But I was traveling, I was in Paris at the time, so I wasn't really analyzing the charts, unfortunately. And MATIC is one of those that I kind of keep longer term in my cold storage, and I didn't really look at the charts because I'm not really trading it actively. However, this should have been my indication to exit the trade. I could have saved myself from all this drop from 113 to 93, which is a significant drop for MATIC. So anyways, right now, what am I going to do? Well, I have this bearish cross in the stochastic RSI on the daily, so I'm still expecting further downwards price action. But looking at the bigger time frames, this is the weekly chart. We are already starting to curve here in the stochastic RSI. So I'm actually going to hold a little longer for this trade, and I will find a bounce, which I'm expecting to see over the next couple of weeks. This bounce could be a minor one, but if it comes even close to $1, I will be ready to offload. Let's take a look at the shorter time frame, like the 8-hour. We are actually right now respecting this trend line here. So this is our resistance. A bounce from here where we are could actually take us to that resistance, but this is the 8-hour, so it could actually take quite some time to go up there. So this is pretty much the direction on the way up, and this is my resistance that I don't really expect us to break anytime soon. On the way down, we can expect the following support zones. Let's quickly pin them. So currently we are sitting at a support. If this support doesn't hold us, we are actually in a free fall, and this is really bad news. 76 cents is our lower support. So this is really a bleak outlook. I do hope that we don't go down there, but if we do, it could be a great accumulation zone, because I don't really expect us to go much lower than that. Look at it. It's actually coinciding with a previous low. We have been a little bit lower, but this is, of course, it is a region. So we can safely assume that this is the region that we're looking at if we break this support. But it could be that this support holds us because it has been previously a support as well. Not only it is a Fibonacci level, but as you can see, it's been respected a few times already. So it is possible that we bounce from here and we make even a minor recovery, but at least stay above this support zone. This is what we have to look out for. Alright, well, this is everything for today's video, guys. Thanks for staying until the end. I hope this brought value to you and you found this to be quite informative and helpful. And if that's the case, show your support. Leave a like and a comment below. Also, any suggestions for topics that you want me to cover or coins that you want me to take into account for the next technical analysis, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna check them and I will try to fit all of the tokens that you are mentioning in your comments. So definitely be more active in the comments, guys. Let me know if you have any questions regarding the technical analysis or some of the indicators that I was showing you. And don't forget that I have the links to all of these tools that I'm using, the Orux tool, token metrics, and other tools that I'm using in my analysis. Everything in the description below, so make sure that you use these links. These are all the services that I'm personally using and that I recommend to you. And also, while you're here, just pick another one of my videos and I'm gonna see you there.